hello everyone. Hi.
Hi. Okay, what do you want to do?
Oh my goodness. Let's build that goblin deck that we be keep talking about, but like to our gentle viewers slash listeners, because for the sight impaired, I realize that you are more listening than viewing.
Viewing.
So you do not want to feel you are excluded. But we wanted initially to do kind of like a version of Snooze's physical copy of an angel goblin deck. And the thing is pretty sweet. It's pretty memey, which is not memey as in like I'm mispronouncing the word meme. I'm adding the adjective version. So meme and then adding a Y at the end, memey.
It's
I
it's
actually
more of a
believe
labor
that
of
meme
love.
is pronounced meme. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. It's a meme deck and we love it and it's adorable. But what we are noticing is that in the current standard format, there just isn't a lot of great strictly angel options. And until there is, we feel that really what the red white deck Holy Goblin Roblin is just how to put this well. It's a goblin deck that splashes white, but a lot of white randomness that works with goblins for the most part. Just not like it does a little bit of what white is good at, and it does a little bit of what red is good at. It doesn't seem to have the punch that we want it to.
Yeah.
So we're rebuilding from the ground up, starting with goblins, probably a lot of raid bombardments. We're going to use some of our cards to build some really badass goblins because, Mama, this is just, it's what we want. It's what we desire. It's what we need. And yeah, we're going to throw in that lithoform engine. Um, Also, having that mono red is going to give us a lot of advantage just diving in and not having to worry about mana fixing, not having to worry about the
Yeah.
twin or the twin colored lands. Like we can just dive in, have all mountains and whatever else we want. So I say we just start by throwing in every fucking goblin that we have.
Oh, and let me select the format. All right.
Already at 45 out of 60. Fuck yes.
So
So we have 15 cards left.
yeah.
Because it's already selected our mountains for us. Let's really get in those shocks.
One of these and
Yes, and two of the arts that we like less.
yeah.
Um,
And if you don't know, Eric is a premier deck builder.
Premiere as in before the mirror. Mhm.
Preeminent.
Before eminent, so not quite eminent.
I mean, we're new to this.
I love building decks. It's where I get my most joy out of playing Magic the Gathering. It's fun to construct things. I don't necessarily try and go for something that's gonna win 100% of the time or like is meta. Or is like the current meta. I tend to try and go for things that like I try and like work off of a theme and go for a deck with that and have fun with it because if I'm not having fun with it, then I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
then like you're just really creative with your magic decks that you make.
thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank
I'm new to
you.
this game anyways, and you already have like a really strong understanding of how different spells and different enchantments and sorceries and just like how different creature cards can work with each other. Just very synergistic kind of
Right.
this understanding of the different elements that really make a deck succeed.
Thank you for those kind words. I very much appreciated
You're
it.
welcome.
And that said, gentle viewer, gentle listener, gentle absorber, content absorber. Um, Whether your absorption is like a sponge or a not so absorbent sponge, what you need to also understand is that neither one of us are uh, competitive Magic players. We love this game. We are not masters of it by any stretch of the imagination. So we are going to have questions and we're going to expand our knowledge pool and we're going to learn things. And we are really looking forward to having you along the ride with us as we discover these things. So,
Yeah. Well, in my experience, like I just learned how to play Magic the week before Thanksgiving 2020.
mhm,
And after I came home from visiting you where you live, I tried to do some research myself and find
mhm.
more knowledge base teaching on magic, and it was almost impossible.
Yeah, a lot of the content out there is not on with teaching in mind unless it's by Wizards of the Coast themselves. And I'm sure there are some phenomenal ones out there, but like, okay, controversial yet brave moment. Magic players aren't exactly the most charismatic bunch. So, when you're expecting them to convey a potentially fairly complicated thing, sometimes they understand it and they don't understand why you don't understand it. So they'll just read off the rules directly and roll their eyes at anything else. That is not how we're going to operate here. Instead, we want to operate from a place of we are learning and we want to teach you as well. We are your study group. We are your magic study group.
Yeah.
We do require that you do take a shower and wear a mask.
Yeah, wear a mask, please.
Mask.
When you watch our videos,
Also,
wear a mask.
yeah, wear a mask. We're five.
Or
We're very fashionable.
cover your eyes and your ears.
Yeah, definitely your ears.
Hmm.
In fact, like, those monkeys, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah.
Just like, smell no evil either.
Hmm.
Feel no evil.
Smell no evil.
Sense of balance, no evil.
If you can buy a
Commune with the
tiny
dead,
mask,
no
yeah,
evil. Huh?
buy a tiny mask, put it on your tongue. Taste no evil.
Yeah, yeah. Buy an individual mask for each tooth and strap it to its adjacent teeth.
Yes, chew no evil.
Chew no evil. Yeah. And speaking of evil, phenomenal segue. I believe the Fireblade Charger is not going to work so well with this deck because he's really more of a warrior that
Oh, he needs
needs
equipment.
to be equipped,
Yeah.
and that's not our zhuzh.
No.
We're looking for something fast paced, hard hitting, and more goblin-y.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Why is he still the cover? That's bullshit. That's weird.
Oh, I don't know. Let's just put this one on there.
Yeah, that or Night Runner. That guy's sweet as
Yeah,
fuck.
he's
Okay, cool.
awesome.
Okay,
Correct.
let's pop to the next page.
Poppin'. Boop.
Okay, do we like anything?
Mm.
Do we like anything? So notice how Inordinate Rage. Look at what Inordinate Rage does. +3/+2 and scry 1. And then go back one page.
Yeah, there was another one that did.
Very similar, it's just without the scry. No, I think it's Infuriate. Which,
Oh.
shockingly, I know that they're not the same, but look how similar they look. The
Oh
thing that's
yeah.
getting pissed.
Uh,
They're both kind of sort of Minotaur-esque.
I think they are. Well, this one has wings.
But it's like wings
No,
coming out
those
of
are
his
his
head.
horns. Those are his horns.
Um, do you want Fire Prophecy? It's 2 for 3 damage. It's pretty standard. And it has the added effect.
You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. So we're just like, what do you call it? Cantripping?
Not
Not
really,
really.
because cantripping just replaces the card. Effectively, it allows us to swap another card. It gives us the option because it says you may, right? So it gives you a choice.
Okay.
Um, Gives
Well,
you
there's
the option of putting a card that you don't feel like is going to be super useful in your hand onto the
yes.
bottom of your library, and then draw a card that might be useful. It kind of has that red chaos gambling
Mhm.
theme that they like to do a lot.
Yeah.
It's
I
not bad.
It's not bad, and I could see it be good if you did have an opportunity to scry one before you cast something like this,
Totally.
right? That could kinda
Need 4 mana to do it.
well, true. It's just an option.
Totally. I'm not saying no. In fact, you know what? Since we're just constructing it, fuck it. Throw in 2.
2 fire prophecies.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Royal Eruption.
Yeah, I was like,
Royal
"What?"
Eruption deals 3 damage to any target. If it was kicked, it deals 5 damage instead. Eh.
I mean, it's
No.
like that or just automatically deal 4 damage to a target.
Yeah, I like that more. I know it can't hit the player, but like it can. That's creature removal all over the
Yeah.
place. And planeswalker removal. Fuck it. Yeah, toss 2 in those.
2
I
in
like that one.
those.
When the yeah, we English here.
We English good.
Titter Pike.
Ambusher.
Titter Pike Ambusher.
That's what my nickname for my last boyfriend was.
Titter Pike. Hi, Titter Pike.
Titter Ambusher.
Hi, Titter Pike Ambusher.
He's not he's something that we talked about previously not being super great because like to make him powerful you have to have more mana to spend. Like he
Okay, and then
yeah,
you're getting a 3/3, and it's not even permanent.
no.
Um, only to the end of turn. I
Yeah,
don't love him.
I don't either.
Want to scrap him?
Yeah. I mean I feel like he
There's
should
only one of them.
yeah.
He might as well just make room for better goblins.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. Burn, bright, creatures you control. Ooh, that said, that's plural creatures.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah, throw 2 of those in. All right. Ooh, destructive tampering. Yes. Look at the versatility on that. See, like, okay, this is one of those few effect destruction cards that I'm like, yeah, pop this in because it also can allow you, like, can prevent blocking. That's pretty. It's almost niche, but I think it's universal enough because typically you don't fight a lot of flyers in most decks, so they're not going to exclusively have flyers.
So
It'll put
that's
them
like
in a.
target opponent's creatures.
Actually, it just says creatures. It's universal throughout the
Also
entire board.
okay. Oh, okay. So it
Oh,
kind of
but I mean, you would only be able to cast it on your turn, and your creatures can't block on your turn anyway. They only attack,
Mm.
and it's only this turn. So then the moment his
See, I'm learning.
creatures,
Asking questions.
yeah. So yeah, destructive tampering definitely. Also, we can kill artifacts with it. Remember that stupid time clock that you hate so
Yeah,
much?
I hate the time clock. Guys, just so you
Yeah,
know, I hate midnight clock.
hidden midnight clock can go fuck itself. And with destructive tampering,
It can.
you have that option now.
Oh, here's another one that destroys a target artifact.
Right,
Like,
Molten Blast deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or it destroys a target artifact. I like that less.
I like it less too, but I was just saying it's similar in that
Does allow us to destroy a target artifact.
we're not really looking to do that whole lot of that. It's
I would almost rather construct or craft a second destructive tampering.
yeah, and the M21 means it's common?
It's the most recent
Yeah.
core set.
Yeah, I get that part, but like just looking at that symbol and knowing if it's common, uncommon, like
Oh, it's common. So if it's black like that,
mhm,
it's common. If it's silver, it's uncommon.
like this.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Okay.
And you can kind of tell because it's a 2/3 goblin for 3,
Mm,
and he has that really good ability that allows you to, and that's really good at late game too.
mhm.
It allows you to play that card this turn,
As long
especially
as I
when
can
you've
get him to deal combat damage to a player.
right, and once you're top decking, like that's really fucking good.
Yeah.
So, but you also have Goblin Tunneler, and Goblin Tunneler would make him unblockable. So, also you have stuff like Destructive Tampering, which would open up the ability or open up uh, your opponent's defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of opportunities for Night Runner to attack and trigger that ability.
I wouldn't mind
So
having
much so,
another Night Runner.
I was just about to say, I was like, we might want to craft another destructive tampering and another Night Runner.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so if you look at the major differences between commons and uncommons, I think we can look at things like Loon Minotaur versus Otog Night Runner. So they're both 2/3 creatures that have a converted mana cost of 3. Her Minotaur's mana cost is a little bit more strict because it requires 2 red. It makes it a little bit less viable in a multicolored deck. Especially at turn 3, because you may not have 2 red producing mana items out by turn 3. You
Yeah.
might have 1 and then like 2 green or 2 blue or a green, a blue, and a white.
Mhm.
Or like a red, a green, and a blue. Like,
Yeah.
in which case you would be able to summon Grotag Night Runner, but not Herloon Minotaur. That's not to say that the stricter mana cost isn't potentially beneficial. There's a mechanic called Devotion that actually counts up those mana points, I guess, or those mana symbols. And the more that you have on the battlefield, or your devotion, and then it allows a lot of like legendary enchantment creatures that are effectively gods from the Theros set to be summoned onto the battlefield and no longer be enchantments but actually be creatures that are swinging. So like there, it's not that I would never say that something is strictly better than another unless it was strictly better, but in most cases in most cases Grotag Night Runner is going to be better than Herloon Minotaur for an abundance of reasons, in addition to him being a goblin rogue, which are 2 tribes that tend to work a lot better with like, that their respective tribes. Also, Grotag Night Runner has that amazing ability.
Yeah.
So it's like like even if I wasn't like building a goblin deck, if I was just building like a red aggro deck, why would I ever put in a Herloon Minotaur over a Grotog Night Runner? Well, if I didn't have as many Grotog Night Runners, as you see, it's uncommon. This card isn't as available in any given pack. Not as many were printed. You're supposed to be using Herloon Minotaur until you've like opened enough fucking packs to replace all of them with Grotag Night Runners.
Yeah, it's a placeholder.
Yeah, it's a placeholder. I mean, like they're both 2/3 red creatures for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Grotag, in most cases, is going to be better. Most cases. Guess you could do a Minotaur tribal deck. I don't know why you would.
Maybe someone
There's not a
really
lot.
likes Minotaurs.
In which case, more power to them.
What
All
about
right.
fantasy if I love goblins? What's that called?
Something dark and unspeakable.
Yeah, we don't speak about that.
I just think that you love chaos, honestly.
Yeah, they're just, look at them at that party. I just want to be at that
I
party.
know they're having fun, which is weird too because you're such like a introvert and like enjoy socialization like that. But you're also
I,
kind of a redneck, so maybe that's a part of it too.
I mean, I wouldn't mind being at like a bonfire and being like, let me just throw this chair on here because we need
Right?
fire. And like,
We're fucking eating rats over here.
yeah. And like, what does that do with drinking?
Who cares?
Who
Pee,
cares?
probably. Pee, hopefully.
Eat, hopefully. Fermented. Fermented. As long as you get a little buzz.
Mama, it's just the pheromones themselves is all the buzz you need.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, could you
Which to
imagine the kind of pheromones goblins have? Comment down below if
yeah.
you have an idea for goblin pheromones. I would love to know.
Also, comment down below as to like how yellow the pee needs to be before you say no to drinking it. I'm just wondering. Let's go to the next page.
Okay.
All right. I love Ray Bombardment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should think about putting another one in this deck. I was just saying. Okay, I think Ogre Battle Driver actually works really well with this deck.
Yeah.
I think we should toss both in.
I kind of
Awesome.
also like the idea that like it's just a bunch of goblins like running around, not really paying attention to what's going on, and this guy is like whipping them.
Whipping the shit out of him. Look at the end of that whip, too.
Mhm. It's like whatever that guy and Scarlet Letter used to hit himself with. Nine
Yes.
tails. What is that? Yeah.
It is a cat of nine tails, but it's a little bit longer. It's like a bullwhip with a cat of nine tails.
Yeah, it's because the goblins are running around like wild.
Yeah, they really are. You know he's good with that whip.
Yeah.
He's like good enough to be a 3/3. Like he be hitting those goblins hard with that. I guess he has a sword as well.
Also, since we were on the topic of like goblins being chaotic, like this is weird. Like a goblin gang leader.
Well, I mean, in order to be a goblin gang leader, you just like have to be the meanest, you know?
Yeah.
And it makes sense because he's a 2/2 and the other ones are 1/1s.
And then a goblin trash master.
I know. What is up with all of these like Shrek
These
goblins?
big ones.
What is Tectonic Giant?
He's a giant made out of tectonic plates.
It's my favorite portion of geology.
He had to destroy a planet to be made, basically.
He's kind of awesome. He kind of operates like the rogue that we have, but also it triggers whenever an opponent casts a spell on him. Yeah, let's toss him in.
All right. He would be kind of like a target, you know?
Right. He's also his ability is going to go off a lot more often than turret ogres. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Reduce to ashes deals 5 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Meh.
Me.
Eh.
Me.
Eh. It doesn't excite me. Alright. Synchronized Spellcraft deals 4 damage to target creature and X damage to that creature's
Party.
controller, where X is the number of creatures in your party. Boo.
Boo.
God.
Party.
Party is such a boner killer.
That was my nickname
like...
in high school.
Party?
No, boner killer.
I mean, they could have just named you Party. It would have killed my boner.
Oh, well. That's my goal.
Also, you being a woman.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Shame on you. Let's go to the next one.
It's our friend.
Yes, come on, duh. Come on. It's so good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 damage to each creature without flying that player controls. Come on. It's lit. Literally.
You were what?
A chuckle, 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 a chuckle. Let's toss in another. Why not? Fuck it. Right. We do have a lot of goblins that we can produce. How many goblins would we need, or how much power would we need in order to make that worth it? It deals 6 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. Let me think.
It
That's
just
12
seems
damage.
very situational.
It's 12 damage, right? I think that's what I'm reading.
Yeah, 6 damage to each.
Right, so it's 12 damage total. Of up to. Okay, so it could feasibly just do 6 damage, minimum of 6, maximum of 12, or a minimum of 2, maximum of 12.
Yeah.
We have 4 to 6 goblins out on the battlefield. Probably like 4/1/1s and maybe a 2/2. I suspect that that's what we're going to see a lot. That would be 6 off. That would be for 6 mana.
6 off? Wouldn't that be 4?
Well, yeah, but 6 total, right? Because it's 12.
Sure.
Yeah, fuck it. Toss 2 in. Why
Really?
not? Why not?
All right.
Get rid of shit. All right.
Get rid of shit, and then
And let's
build
craft
shit.
some shit too.
We want to craft before we get rid.
Yeah, because there's some things I know for a fact we want in our.
We want more of.
Yeah.
Which are Raid Bombardment.
Mm-hmm.
Another. Where is he? Another one of him.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of this.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
And let's see where we're at.
So, should I go ahead and craft them?
Yeah.
It's gonna take 3 wild cards, 1 common and 2 uncommon.
How many do you have of those?
I have a 7 uncommon and 6 common. I think we're good.
Are you willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like a pretty easy.
All right.
Okay, awesome. I'm thinking what we're gonna have to go through. Maybe get rid of a few goblins, but also probably like a shock or a fire prophecy. Because we have a lot of flames that we're tossing at motherfuckers. Like, honestly, Great Bombardment is going to do a bulk of the damage on our opponent. So, I'm fine with most of the rest of the direct damage cards being mostly creature derived, you know?
Yeah.
Since we have better ones, let's get rid of a shock. As much as I love shock. Great fucking spell. I like Raging Goblin in this deck. I think this deck should be fast.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of like provides that. I know it's only 2, but I think that's like fine. Especially since we have Sneaking Guide. Who that is? Oh shit, we have Sneaking Guide
and Goblin
and Goblin Tunneler.
It's just Goblin Tunneler is
more.
cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah, cheaper in the long run. He's cheaper in the long run. He's a more higher upfront cost, cheaper in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get rid of 1 Sneaking Guide.
Okay.
I like him. Fire Prophecy deals 3 damage to a target creature. We have to get rid of 2 cards. Let's get rid of 1 Fire Prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go down. I love that one. I think this is going to be great in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I really like that in this deck. Just think it's going to offer us a lot of ability or utility. Yes. 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 He's kind of independent of the goblins. He just kind of functions to like deal direct damage, which is kind of still a theme of this deck, like just dealing direct damage that's unavoidable to our opponent. Exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them. I mean, it's avoidable technically if you had like some version of Pacify that also pacified those activated abilities.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the chances of that happening are like not as often as.
So, question.
Yeah, what's up?
If they were to cast Pacify on him, he would still get one of those.
Yes, and in fact, Pacify would trigger it.
Yeah, that's what. Because it's targeting a spell on him.
So with like.
You would want something like Nahiri's Binding.
Yeah, where it would prevent, like, the initial casting of the Nahiri's Binding would trigger it, but then subsequent, but you wouldn't be able to trigger it again after that because it stops activated abilities.
Yeah.
Oh, exile the top 2 cards of your. See, that's really the one that I want.
Yeah, me too.
The late game.
Yeah.
It allows us to start pulling those cards and start like churning them out. So yes, I say keep him.
Keep him.
Keep it. Whenever another player, that's another like really good like you want to attack him, you got to sacrifice some life. He's a 5/4. He flies. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peak deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. That's creature removal. That's fucking like direct damage to keep.
Yeah.
He's so good. Siege Dragon. Again, like that's really good creature removal. It's like attack with a Siege Dragon along with your goblins. Like they're gonna have a hard time.
There's 2 of him in the deck. There's also 2 of Volcanic Salvo, though.
I think I want to keep because also Volcanic Salvo can't deal damage directly to a player, but it can destroy creatures pretty quickly, especially if we have a lot of creatures on the battlefield. It would just effectively like dealing 6 damage to 2 target creatures. That's like, for the most part, we're going to be removing 2 creatures. Like maybe not on a green deck. Get rid of the Fire Prophecy.
Get rid of the Fire Prophecy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's better options.
I just think that, I think we have better options, like, all around. And now, we have a 60 out of 60 deck, and we get to fucking name it.
Yes.
It's a combination of goblins and direct damage to players. I think that we're working off of a tight theme here. We dig it, and now we get to press done and name this fucking thing. I feel like we need to be the goblin in order to name the goblin deck, you know? Like, what would a goblin name a goblin deck?
Something that was really arbitrary.
What about AIDS bombardment?
What did you say?
AIDS bombardment.
Yeah.
You're not writing it down. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, I mean, I'm writing it down like on my notepad.
Oh, okay. Just like no bad.
Yeah, I'm totally taking like
bad
handwritten
ideas.
notes, like about like all this stuff. Like here, I'll let you hear what it sounds like.
God, here we go.
Yeah, it's written down.
Thank you for scribbling some pencil onto a notebook.
It was my fingernail. Oh, flamin' hot gobs.
No, that's too self-aware. Hot poop. I like hot poop.
You do.
I know.
Well,
but it looks like they're throwing hot poop.
Oh.
Hot poop.
Goodness gracious, great balls of poop.
And we're not gonna have that many fucking...
Oh.
We're not gonna have that many, like, characters available to us. Trying to write War and Peace in the subject line over here. Fucking Ayn Rand over here.
Maybe we should just play with it before we name it.
Play with it.
Play with it. All right.
I mean, I thought that was gonna be the name, but okay, yeah.
Oh.
But you know what? You're right. We're gonna be inspired.
We're gonna be inspired.
Inspire us, not with Holy Goblin. Here we go. New deck 2. Would you like some hot here?
The human cleric walking past this goblin on the side of the road is like, looks at their friend and is like, what did he just say?
Would you like some hot up here? It's a dish of my people.
They're like,
I'm giving it to you.